This conference will now be recorded.
Right, in the last session, we were discuss about types of methods like instance methods, class methods, and static methods. So in this session, I'm going to discuss about how to access one class members into other class. Accessing one class members into other class, how it is possible. So in object oriented, we need to create a class and we have to implement it. But after that implementation, that members I want access into other class. So that is called accessing one class members into other class. Accessing one class members into other class. How it is possible? Accessing one class members into other class. So for example, here I'm trying to create one class. Class name is employee. Class employee class. And in this employee class, I'm taking underscore init def underscore init, and this is constructor, employee number, employee name, employee salary, and self dot envo equals to envo, self dot ename equals to ename, self dot esal equals to esal, esal equals to esal. So this is what constructor, and we have a method also for display the employee details. So these are the methods how I can display. Directly we can write self.envo also, self.ename also, self.ename, self.ename, self.eaddress. Okay, self.eaddress. So no need to give every time print statements, 3-4 print statements for 3-4 variables. So print employee number is self.envo, print employee name is self.ename. So we need not to give that. Directly we can take display method also. It is only one class only, so I can create object for this class. Okay, after that we have to supply employee details. What is that? 101 name and employee salary. So employee salary, so envo ename e salary is there, so employee salary is, for example, uh, 15,000 I'm giving. Then how to access that display method? We have to call the display method by using object reference. When I execute this simple, we got an output like this, but we can see employee object has no attribute e-address. Where e-address is not there, so esal is there. Yes, so let's try to run this. So we got an output like this, 101 Sai and 15,000 here. So this is not the process called how to access one class members into other class. So my requirement is what? Accessing one class members into other class. So we have class already, that is employee class, but I would like to access this class into other this class members into other class. How it is possible actually here? Okay, so let's try to create one more class. One more class. This is separate class. Class test. Test is my other class. In this test class, I'm trying to take one method called modify method. Modify method. So modify method through I want to modify what esal equals to self dot esal plus 2000. So 2000 I'm going to add extra for what? Esal. So that means e-salary member or e-salary variable is available to test class or not for modification. Yes, here we can able to access this e-salary which is present in employee class. So employee class members are available to what class? Test class here. So e-salary we are adding, trying to modify that 2000 extra. Actual salary is what? 15,000. But I'm trying to add that 15,000 plus 2,000 modification I'm doing on modify method under what class? Test class. So when we call e dot display in the sense only this will come, but we are not going to call e dot display. So display method also I'm trying to call under uh, modify method. So self dot display method I'm using self dot display self dot display. So self dot display method, is it possible to get? So here you can see self dot display self dot display method. Yes. Now after that, so when we call modify method, so how to call modify method outside of the class? So obviously test class name through we can call, but modified method is implemented in which class? Test class. So test dot then modify is a method. Modify method when we call, so modification will be done through what? Esal plus 2000. E-salary how much? 15,000. We are supplying through what class object? E class object. So employee class object. So we have to take this also E. E is object reference data. It can hold the data like 101 and psi and 15,000. So that data will be affected through modification method. So now once we are calling test.modify of E in the sense object reference of employee, uh, self dot e salary actually 15,000 is there and 2,000 will affect here. So after that 2,000, 17,000 will become e salary. This I have to display no again. So for that purpose I'm calling here inside the modify method self dot display method, means later it will be display method through modify. So here e salary is the employee class member, then it is available to test a class for required modification purpose. So that's what here one class members are available to other class, or one class members are able to access with other class. That is what 101 SAI 17,000 is there instead of 15,000. Previously it is 15,000. So this is the process called accessing one class members into other class. Okay. So this is what next I'm going to discuss about inner classes. Inner class. What is inner class actually? Simply logic, a class which is having one more class within it is called inner class. A class which is having one more class, which is having one more class within it is called inner class. Or else sometimes we can declare a class inside another class. Sometimes we can declare a class inside another class. Such type of classes are called inner classes, we can say that. Such type of uh, yes. How class test is getting scope class test? Ask why? I'm not getting the question actually. We are having two classes, employee class. Test class is getting scope of yes, 100%, undoubtedly, because we are passing object reference E. So test dot modify of E. So actually we created object here. As soon as when we create object, who will call? Constructor will call. Constructor will handle the data like 101 psi 15,000. Up to here the details of employee is 101 psi and 15,000 only. After that we are calling modify method which is present in test class. We are calling this method in the outside of the class. So that's what I use test class name, not modify. Modify method will call, but modification should affect no, where it should affect in E. So that's what E is having already reference data. It should affect E salary plus 2,000. E salary actually 15,000. It will be affect on 2,000. After modification, I'm calling like once again self.display method. So modification values only will be there here. So that's what it's going to be display. E salary is 17,000, not 15,000. So that makes sense. E salary is available to the test class for modification. Why it is available, you may get doubt here. E salary is a public variable. E salary is a public variable. That means once the variable is public, we can able to access in outside of the class also. But there is a concept in Python, encapsulation in object-oriented programming. So we can restrict the access to the variables and methods by making our variables are private or by making our methods are private. How to do later I'll discuss in encapsulation feature. You can restrict that members access or methods access in other class. It's not possible by making private members. So next inner class I'm talking here, inner classes, inner class. So what is inner class in the sense? Sometimes we can declare a class inside another class. Such type of classes are called inner class. With that, without existing one type of object here, without existing one type of object, without existing one type of object, one type of object, if there is no chance of, if there is no chance of, if there is no chance of existing another type of another type of another type of another type of object, another type of object, then we should go for inner classes. Then we should go for inner classes. We should go for inner classes, we can say that. Without existing one type of object, if there is no chance of, if there is no chance of existing another type of object, then we should go for inner classes. For example, you can say class, car. Car is a class. Next, class, engine is a class. Engine is a class. Without existing car type of object, if there is no chance of existing engine type of object, then we should go for inner class. Yes, without car, no chance of existing engine object here. Okay, that's what here. Without existing car object, there is no chance of existing engine object. So in this case, we are declaring this engine class inside the car class only. So inner class is what here? Class, engine class. Outer class is what here? Car class. So in that case, we can use inner classes. We can say that inner classes. Without existing outer class object, here car is outer class. Without existing outer class object, there is no chance of existing inner class object. That means inner class object is always, this object is always associated with what? Outer class object only. Inner class is always associated with outer class. But whenever we have inner class and outer class, so how to access that inner class in our inner class methods and what we can say outer class constructors are different cases we have. So let's try to work on it here. So just I'm showing class. My class name is called outer. Then in this outer class we have a constructor underscore underscore init. So I'm giving here outer class. Next here in this inside the outer class only, I'll create one more class that is inner. Then here also I'm taking one more constructor. So print inner class, I'm saying inner class. Inside inner class, I'm taking one method called instance method like m1. So print inner class method, I'm writing inner class method, inner class method, inner class method, inner class method. Now look at here, these inner class method, inner class constructor are present in inner class. Outer class is only having what? Constructor. But inside the outer class, what was there? Complete inner class stuff will be there. Inner class. Okay. So now we should create object for what class here? Compulsory outer class. So O equals to outer. O equals to outer. It is outer class object creation. Okay. Then after that, when we create object, as soon as who will call, you can see whenever I execute that, obviously, so outer class only will call because constructor will be invoked automatically. That is outer class only call or not? Yes, it is calling outer class only. But sir, what about inner class constructor in inner class method? So we have to create object for inner class now. How to create object for inner class? I equals to inner class object. But inner class is present in where? Outer class. So outer class is object is what? O dot inner we have to use. O dot inner. this is the way to create object for inner class. Now when we execute this, what happen? Inner class object through, as soon as when we create inner class object, who will invoke constructor, invoke inner class, so inner class. But what about inner class methods, or how to access? Is this possible to access inner class method I dot m1? Yes, I dot m1. I is what object? Inner class object. So I dot m1 inner class method also is coming. So is this possible to access inner class method with O dot m1? So O dot m1, I'm trying. O dot m1 is not possible because O is what class object? Outer class. So I is directly which class object? Inner class. So it is possible creation like this. So first of all, we create object for outer class, and outer class object reference through, we should create object for inner class like I equals to O dot inner. I equals to O dot inner. Then after that I dot m1. So same scenario we can do in different styles. So instead of this, either we can use this one. Let's comment it. Either we can use this one. Next, I'm trying to do that I equals to, I is object reference. Directly I'm trying to create outer dot inner like this. I equals to outer dot inner. So this is also possible for only one object reference, outer class, inner class. What about method? Method I have not called, no, so that's what I dot m1. So now this time method also will come, inner class method like this, outer class, inner class, and inner class method. And there is another way also, directly we can able to call like this. Just wait, here also it's possible. What is that? So outer dot, then inner dot m1. Yes, it is also possible, outer dot inner dot m1, because outer is outer need to be created first only, because inside the outer there is inner, then inside the inner there is a method m1. It's working fine. Outer class, inner class method. So this is what we worked with inner classes and outer classes, how to create and how to call methods which are available in inner class, as well as outer class also methods. If you have, you can call through outer class object only. So these are the different ways to call inner class methods. So inner class, when we use, means sometimes we can declare a class inside the another class, that is called inner class. How to access inner class methods, inner class constructor? This is the way here. Without existing one type of object, there is no chance of existing another type of object. Then we should go for inner class. That means car is outer class, engine is inner class. Without car class, there is no chance of engine class. If you want to make engine class, first you have to make car class, then after inside that car class you have to make engine class. So engine class is always associated with what class? Car class. So this is called as inner class, outer class concept, what we discussed. And next, in Python, object oriented especially, there is a concept called garbage collection. Yes, can we write two classes in two different modules and pass? I'm not getting.
In the previous example, you show me the two classes in the same module, correct? But I want, can we do that two classes in the two different modules and you can pass that one?
You can import the modules actually, two different
So,
module, and pass object of one class to another class, which is different module. Modules, see module,
that,
you in module we have to implement the code, but you have to be called in separate class actually. Yes, we can do that. Modules, you have to import modules.
okay, because in the previous model, still the previous example, still I'm not able to getting that how that employee class object is passed to the one more class and it got displayed. I'm not able to get.
Yeah, that's, see, E is object reference of employee class. Previously, just wait. Here, E is an object for employee class. Now this time, whenever we execute, so nothing we got because we are not calling method. E dot display. This is clear, no?
Yes, that
Directly,
is clear.
we are calling only e dot display method. Directly 15,000 came because we passed values to the class is this one only. That means as soon as when we create object for employee, so who will invoke constructor is invoked. Constructor through we are passing 101 will goes to here, Sai will goes to here, and 15,000 will goes to here. Then after that, what happen you can see. I want to make to available. E-salary is a public variable actually, undoubtedly public variable. Then that is present in that can be make available to test class. In modification method, I'm trying to modify. I want to add it extra 2,000 of e-salary, and it will be added to 15,000. That means 15,000 equals to 15,000 plus 2,000. Totally 17,000 will be there. But modification after I have to call one more time method, so display method. But how it will be modified is important here, because modification can be do with what modify method. Modify method is present in where test class. You are going to access modify method outside of the class, so that's what test dot modify. But actual values where it is available, e is an object. As soon as when we create object, it will maintain 101 Sai 15,000. Where I want to make to modify effect E only.
No.
Okay.
Okay. When you pass that test dot modify e, okay.
See, just wait. I'll keep the breakpoint.
Okay.
Then try to do the debug option.
Okay.
Now, as soon as when we create object for E equal to employee class, so it's going to be called the constructor here. So E name. So after that constructor is invoked, and it is going to be called the display method. In this display method, what was there you can see test dot modify, and just wait. See, E name Sai ENO 101, E salary 15,000. Now you can see after that when we click on it here or else here 101 name and E salary still it is 15,000. When we press F8 again, it's going to be called 15,000, and we are trying to call the modify method. Now modify method is calling, and once modify method is calling, E salary will be modified. That will be effect on E salary. So in this E salary data will be available 17,000. Here 17,000 is available because extra 2,000 are added. Then after that we are
One
calling.
second. Mohan, 1 second. In the modify, there is a parameter self. So self means it belongs to the current object, or it can belongs to the parent object also.
A parent any other class object also, no matter, because here one thing you have to remember, ESAL is a public member. Public member means we can able to access in outside of the class also.
Okay.
That's what it is available test class. If you make private, it cannot be modified anywhere. Private, how to make in the sense we have to use underscore ESAL.
Okay. Since we declared this ESAL in the parent one with self dot in the image in the parent constructor, it is called public.
Yeah, public only. Here public.
Okay.
But one thing you can remember here, there is no parent, there is no child.
Okay.
These are not child and parent relation. Only just a class member is available to other member. That's it.
Okay.
But
Okay.
there is no inheritance also actually here.
Okay. So
we are
logically it has to have no relations, correct?
Yes, no relation actually here.
Okay, fine. Okay, thanks. Yeah, thanks.
relation should be relation we can maintain, but how we can maintain if test class is going to be inherited employee class
Okay.
like this? This is
Okay.
inheritance.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
So
Okay.
no relation. It's available to the test class because we will do modification of e-salary by taking reference of existing values. Existing values are present in e only. Why? Because as soon as when we create object for employee, it maintain this data only.
Okay.
But this data I want to do that modification should affect in my e object only. So that's
Okay.
what test.modify method I'm calling. After
Okay.
modification done, once again I'm calling display method.
Okay.
This is not
Okay.
inheritance. No parent, no child.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Okay.
Now, in the object-oriented programming in Python class, there is one small concept is there that is called garbage collector. You know, garbage collector will do what memory management purpose. So, what is garbage collection or what it can do, how it will work on it in Python programming language means. So, in olden days, when we take like C++, so programmers will responsible to create objects according to their requirements, but they forgot to destroy the objects. So, in that, because of the reason, so total memory can be filled with unnecessary objects or useless objects or else garbage objects, which is going to be create memory problems and total application will be down with out of memory error. So, but in Python, we have garbage collector running inside the programs, running inside automatically. So because of the garbage collector, there is less chance of failing Python program with the memory problems actually here. So this process is who will do in the sense garbage collector will do that. So the main objective of main purpose of garbage collector is to destroy useless objects or to destroy unnecessary objects. That means idled objects. Idled objects means the objects which is not going to be work. So unnecessarily it's created. It's not going to be destroyed properly, so it will be stay in the memory only. So how to be clean up the memory. If object don't have any reference variable, then that objects are eligible for garbage collection. That means it is ready to be destroyed. But garbage collector automatically present in Python, but here automatically enabled in Python, so we can able to check uh, uh, garbage collector is enabled or disabled, and according to your requirement we can able to disable also. Sometimes we can able to disable by calling disable method, and we can able to enable also by calling enable method. So we can use some functions to disable or enable or to check whether it is enabled or not. So of gc module, so there is a module called gc module. In that module there are some functions. Like what functions are there, you can see gc dot is enable, gc dot is enable, gc dot is enabled. So this method is used to check whether it is garbage collector is enabled or disabled. So this method will return true if GC is enabled, otherwise it return false. Then after that, explicitly you want to disable the garbage collector, so we can use disable method. Disable method. This method is used to disable garbage collector explicitly. Then GC dot enable method. This method is used to enable garbage collector explicitly. So how it will work, how these methods can be used in our practical implementation, let's check out quickly here. So garbage collector is available or not. So garbage collector responsibility is what? To provide memory management, to take care of memory internally, avoiding out of running memory of our application. So garbage collector will destroy useless objects automatically. But how garbage collector will destroy useless object means, internally garbage collector will call destructor. Yes, we know constructor, that is underscore underscore init, but here destructor is also special method, and the name should be underscore underscore del underscore underscore, that is destructor. So constructor means this is in Python class underscore underscore init like this, but destructor in the sense underscore underscore del underscore underscore, that is. So destructor means this one. So destructor is a special method and the name should be underscore underscore del, and just before destroying an object, garbage collector always will call destructor. Why it will call always destructor means to perform cleanup activities. What cleanup activities? That resource deallocation or closing database connection properly. Once we close the data connection, we should destroy that objects, all those things. That purpose, garbage collector internally will call what? Destructor. The destructor is always underscore underscore del. So once a destructor execution completed, that means garbage collector automatically destroy that object. So destructor responsibility is not for destroying the object. Destructor responsibility is only deallocation of resource and connectivity, disconnection from database. This kind of activities will do by destructor. Once destructor completion of deallocation memory, then garbage collector automatically destroy that object. So the job of destructor is not to destroy object, and it is just to perform cleanup activities. Okay, then how to make whether it is enable or disable garbage collector, or if it is disable, how to make enable, and if it is enable, how to make disable using GC module. We can do this. First of all, you have to import GC module. Import GC. As I said, garbage collector by default it is enabled only in Python. So we can able to check garbage collector is enabled or disabled by using isEnable method. So let's try to print GC is a module name is enabled. So it return true because by default it is available, true only. If you want to do explicitly disable, so GC dot what disable. So once it is disabled, yes, it's disabled, but I want to know later after disable also it is still it is available or not. So is enabled I'm doing. So obviously it return false because we did disable. After disable we can make it as enable by using what? Enable method. Let's check out once again it was enabled or not. GC dot is enable. So enabled here. So we can do as per your requirement. You want stop garbage collector, you can stop it, or you want starts with the garbage collector, you can starts with. By default it's enabled internally in Python, so it will take care internally useless object destroying or unused object destroying. So that is what garbage collector nature. If there is no garbage collector, what we should do as a programmer, we have to write our own code to perform cleanup activities or to destroy the memory. So unused object destroy, all those things we have to write, but it is increase lot of burden onto the programmer. So that's what uh, garbage collector is present inside the Python. So it will take care everything, how to manage the memory for the application running, and how to allocating and deallocating process of all will take care about garbage collector internally. Because of garbage collector, lot of burden reduced on the programmer only. Otherwise, we have to concentrate to write logic code, and we have to concentrate to write our memory management code. So in olden days, memory management code purpose also programmer need to write some script, but it was increased lot of burden. So to avoid that, garbage collector is internally enabled, so it will take care everything. We need not to bother about memory management kind of things, all those things. Automatically it will be run, and we should only concentrate on logic code, how it will work out. Okay, so this is about garbage collector. Internally, to clean up activities or resource deallocation purpose, garbage collector will call destructor only, not constructor. Constructor means something built, destructor means to destroy. So this is about garbage collector and how to access one class members into other class and inner class outer class activities, how it is possible. And in next session we will discuss we will start object oriented uh, we object oriented programming features one by one, that is encapsulation, polymorphism, and inheritance, abstraction one by one, with including programs where we can use exactly in reality. So I will explain that.